Hi everyone, this is Anish here. I lead the global partnerships and community for DronaHQ. Welcome to another episode of DronaHQ PartnerCast 2020. Today we have a special guest on the episode, Yash Gandhi. He is the founder of Algoware and also a DronaHQ partner. He wanted to get someone who could tell you what it means to partner with DronaHQ. So the agenda for today is that we'll grill Yash on the call, ask him about his journey, how he came across no code, low code, and what transpired. So without any further ado, let's start the PartnerCast. So hi Yash, welcome to the DronaHQ PartnerCast. Thank you for being on this episode.
Hey Anish, thanks a lot. I'm really happy to be here. I'm really excited. Thank you very much for inviting me on the PartnerCast.
Okay, great. No, we are also equally excited to have you on this episode. Just wanted to tell you how the session will flow. I'll ask you some questions and you will answer them. But keeping jokes aside, we'd love to hear about your journey and your vision for Algoware. So I have a few questions lined up, and if you're all set, let's begin.
Okay, great.
So great. So why don't you start by telling us a little about yourself, your journey so far, and then we'll move into the other questions.
Okay, great. So yeah, I am based out of Nagpur, the center of India. I've grown up here. While I was studying, I developed a keen interest for computer science. I did my bachelor's in computer science. I went on to study further. I did my master's too in the US, and I had the opportunity to work at Microsoft. But that was 10 years ago. Since then, I moved back to India. I wanted to pursue my entrepreneurial journey. And over here, after moving back to India, I spent quite some time um, with SMBs, small and medium businesses, mostly in business operations. And I've had a keen interest in technology intervention, like how we can improve the efficiency of businesses, how we can adopt basically technology, software to basically take the business ahead. That I've had a keen interest in. Now, over the years, I mean, I've faced a lot of challenges in terms of what was available, or how approachable, or how easy, or how difficult it was for the technology to be adopted. Either the solution would either be too bulky or too time consuming. Or sometimes, I mean, person would not be sure of, after giving up so much time and money, whether the solution would be useful or not. So, I face this problem quite often. And again, while scouting for a software solution, I came across the no-code ecosystem. I was really intrigued by it, and it had just started gathering steam. This was a year back, maybe. It had started gathering steam. I saw a lot of no-code solutions. I noticed most of them were catered towards the US and the European market. I specifically wanted to look for a Indian no-code solution. I came across DronaHQ, and coincidentally, I actually got in touch with both Divesh and Janine, the founders, and I found them to be really helpful and amicable. And somewhere down the line, it just struck me that I have the right skill set in terms of understanding the technology, in terms of the entrepreneurial side, the business aspects of things, where I can actually put all of this together and actually build solutions which are much more approachable and applicable immediately to businesses. So that's how I conceptualized Algoware. So I can say that.
So that's brilliant. That's very inspiring. And how long has Algoware been out there?
So Algoware, well, in vision, it has been there for quite some time, but on paper, it started almost 4 or 5 months back. And so the whole okay. Did you have a
So,
question?
since we are on that point, tell us a little more about Algoware. It's your baby, and what is the vision that you have for this setup?
Sure. So the main idea behind starting Algoware was, as I told you earlier, that I could see there is a gap between the technology adoption and what is available. The I thought with the power of no code, this can become really. I mean, this is something that should be out there, and people should be able to. I mean, I should be able to provide that bridge between that technology adoption and how easy it is. So it would be a cliche to say how the world is evolving, how the whole software landscape has changed in the past few years. As I told you, in terms of traditional software development, and if you look at no code these days, and how especially like post COVID-19 pandemic, how people have started to accept or adopt technology in every sphere of life, be it personal, be it work, retail, deliveries, everything. Like so,
Mm.
I feel. I mean, this is the right time for every business to adopt that technology, and with like especially with I mean, if you look at it, almost most of the no-code solutions, especially with DronaHQ, I feel it's like a building block. It's like a Lego block of solutions. You can actually put them together and build something really simple, really fast, or even if you look at what is available today, you can build really complex solutions or complex workflows. So it actually bridges. I mean, taps a lot of different places.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
the whole good ecosystem, and that's what I'm trying to do with Algoware. Basically, I mean, as an entrepreneur, as I told you earlier, so I saw a lot of gaps between what maybe the consumer wanted in with respect to the software solution, and the
Mm.
classic software engineering problem, the requirement gathering. There always used to be gaps between the, uh, the software provider and what the client expects out of the software, and it usually would turn out to be a very time consuming and expensive affair to really find out the solution, like what is happening where the ideas are not meeting or meeting up. And I see like no code really on the bridging that gap or shortening the time and reducing the
No,
cost in that aspect.
yeah, and since you mentioned this, one of the things that comes to my mind is I read somewhere that no code is basically democratizing coding. So earlier, I've been on the other side, and one of the things that I've realized is the language that a business person speaks vis-a-vis what a coder would speak, or someone who's from a tech standpoint, is very different. And if you're a small entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur or if you're a small company or something, many times it ends up happening that your needs constantly evolve. So if the whole lead time from the idea generation to actually creating a solution is pretty long, by the time you have a solution in your hand, your needs have changed. And
True.
this is getting earlier it would be true for some cases, but today when everybody is trying to create something, people want to create something which is quick. They can see whether they want to increase the go to market time, so in the sense that they want to shorten it, hit go to market as quickly as possible, see what is working, what is not working, come back, make changes, and get into that loop, which is so true right now. So completely
Yeah.
agree with you in terms of how the landscape is changing, and wish you all the best for your vision for Algoware.
Thank you so much.
We'll move on to the next question that we have for you, which is you've answered this partially, right? Where you said that, and we've covered it in the last point where we spoke about why it's the preferred no code or the low code medium is a preferred medium. But one of the things, if you can just give us an example of what it meant to code in the past vis-a-vis what it means now with the low code, no code. If you can just throw some light on that and how times have changed, that would give us a great perspective.
Sure. So I remember reading somewhere that for any paradigm shift to happen, or some new technology to be adopted, or new innovation to be adopted, you need an entire ecosystem. I feel the entire ecosystem is just right, like right now, for the no code, low code to evolve. It's not that this is fairly new. It has been there, but it has been there on piecemeal basis. But if you look at how, as I mentioned earlier, the software development, or even what you asked, software development has changed a little. Beyond that, there have been a lot of SaaS models that have developed, small the solutions being provided where you don't have to worry about the nitty-gritties. And at the same time, you see the internet penetration, internet speeds have increased. And again, like I strongly feel so. There has to be a motive for people to really adopt technology, and I think this pandemic has really surged it ahead for people to think we would want like more automation included. So that entire everything has come together to really push no code ahead. And as I said, in the past 1 year, you've seen a lot of no code solutions coming up. And traditionally, one had to really worry about everything. Like I've been on that traditional side of things. It would take a lot of time to set up, like one would think about security, the data warehousing. So what one really, the prime aspect, what no code does is it adds a layer of abstraction. So you as a somebody, a business developer, or what the no code jargon is citizen developer, you just have to worry about the business logic. You don't have to worry about the underlying technology. It can change, secure, all the other parameters. You just have to focus, okay, this is my business logic, this is what I want to implement, and it gives you a very easy visual interface to actually implement your ideas. Traditionally, it would require you to learn the language. So basically, whatever's happening on a no-code platform, it is writing code in the background, but you don't have to really understand the nuances, and you don't have to invest time in that. Rather, you invest time in implementing your business ideas. So I think that is the whole change between no code, low code, and I feel that is one of the major reasons for the movement to take some steam.
So interesting you mentioned that, because more and more we are also looking at, our partners are coming to us with automation requirements. So you have organizations which have systems and they want to run a dashboard, or they want to create these mini apps or processes, automations, the CRUD apps, as you call them, right? On top of that for a specific purpose. And then it just makes it so easy. You don't have to worry about, that I'll need more resources for this. With the no code, I've seen that, or with the low code, I've seen that, people are able to get their ideas to life and see how they are working in a very short period of time. That's been one of the things. So yes, completely agree with you on that front. We have a lot of questions to catch up on, so I'm going to move on to the next one, which is, tell us about the kind of projects that you're working on right now, where you're leveraging low code, no code tools.
Sure. So as you mentioned, that a lot of clients are coming in for basic process automations. So I'm working on a couple of clients, and again, their basic requirement is process automation, and a lot of traditional work, or traditionally what they've been doing manually, they wanted to implement it, or basically get it done faster and have better understanding of real-time understanding of how things are. Like one of the clients is a manufacturer. He has a hub and spoke model, multiple factories, and the head office. Uh, so initially, the basic order generation and this thing like accounting, this thing happens through software. But what happens in between till the time the order goes to the factories for manufacturing, its update, and till the end result comes in, the factory is not in the know of what is happening, because multiple places are working at the same time. It becomes very difficult to really get hold of all the numbers together. So what they want is a solution where they get real-time data. So we've been able to develop something for the layman, the factory floor, to actually input data so that the head office can get real-time information of what the status is, which otherwise would take weeks. So now, like, it's there immediately. And so, yeah, that is one of the client we're working on. And one of them.
Sorry, so if you can just throw some light in terms of how much time did you end up taking to create this, and how much would it have taken in a normal scenario vis-a-vis a low-code scenario?
Sure. So it took us around. So this is quite interesting. I'll hit the points, some of the points which I said earlier. That a lot of times what the customer expects, or as you said, the language between what the consumer is talking about and what the software developer is understanding, there is a gap. So it presented an interesting challenge. So the consumer tried to, the way he was explaining it, we tried to build something initially, and because it was a no-code platform, we were very fast. We were able to modify it because there was some misunderstanding in the uh, the requirements. So having said that, it took us around 2.5 weeks to be able to come to a product which is about to be launched. And traditionally, I believe it would have taken not less than 6 to 8 weeks. So that is the power of no code. And more than that, the costing. DronaHQ, like especially I'm talking about DronaHQ, they've come up with a consumption-based pricing model. So that really helps the consumer, because initially they don't have that much of load, but very soon they will. So that was one of the key factors for the consumer to really get on board, because the initial costing was not that much. So both we saved costing in terms of time and in terms of the pricing model that there was.
So you mentioned this, and that was one of the reasons, right? Because many times we get clients of different sizes, and having a per user pricing normally doesn't meet everyone's requirement. So there might be apps that might be used on a frequent basis, or there are apps which are used just once in a week or once in a month, once in a fortnight, etc. So we wanted to make sure that we meet the requirements of all people out there. And so far, the response has been great for the usage-based plans. Sorry, you were saying something, Yash.
I said, yeah. So that the whole this particular aspect of it, in terms of cost, that makes it very the no-code a very go-to platform for, say, developing a MVP or a proof of concept, so that you quickly are able to validate your ideas, whether it's going to work or not, instead of spending a lot of time, effort, and money in developing a bulky solution, which later on you realize it doesn't work. So just my 2 cents on how it helps.
I'm with you on that. I think so. That makes a lot of sense, and these, at the end of the day, you're dealing with real world problems. So you have to be flexible. You need to be able to turn the ship around with a small arc, small radius. Moving on to the next question. So apart from this example, is there anything other interesting thing that you would want to talk about? Any interesting project that you have executed on no code?
Well, again, so I can talk about again a proof of concept that we made for there was a request, and I'm specifically mentioning this because it was a property management. The client was a property manager, and so there were multiple
Oh,
roles:
interesting.
a tenant and the property owner, and the property management person is maintaining the properties, and the tenant ticket requests, and so it was fairly like intense kind of a approval, task approval, assignment kind of a whole ecosystem for a property manager and for everyone in the ecosystem to get the view of how where things are and how things are. And I mean, I'm just mentioning this because, as I said, proof of concept, we were able to get something ready in less than a week. And I mean, so I'll just talk about DronaHQ. Like, it has a particular task approval and task assignment kind of a module built in. So that made life really simple, and it kind of like so we were able to almost replicate what the client eventually wants in a week's time. So that is something I feel is noteworthy.
That's neat, and that's a pretty interesting use case if you look at it. So move on to the next question that I have for you. You've been using the studio for a long time, yeah. So one of the things that you mentioned right now was about the tasks which are there. But
Yeah.
for someone who is new to DronaHQ and the studio platform particularly, what are some of the best features that you have found very helpful? Has given you a lot of comfort in terms of designing stuff.
Sure. So I've been using the studio platform for quite some time. I have seen it evolve. Like in the current phase, I really appreciate the studio UI in general. So it makes it things are very easily segregated. Like all the information on one side, all actionable items on the other side. When you are developing something, you have multiple sheets that you have to sheets or multiple screens that you have to refer to, multiple controls that you have to look at. So the current interface makes it very easy for anyone to immediately get hold of details. So you don't have to really skip screens and trying to look for information. So I really appreciate that, and how I've seen the whole platform evolve, and I really appreciate this particular aspect of it. And the other thing that I've seen is the database, the sheets, the database. Again, it can store, it is so versatile, it can store a lot of information like geolocation to images to JSON files. Very soon, I believe they had launched action items within the spreadsheet, and I'm yet to explore it, but I'm really excited to know that they're increasing the capabilities. Plus, again,
I can tell you, Yash. Since I have a sneak peek into what is happening on daily basis and you hear the conversation between the teams. There are a lot of more features which are in the works and which you'll be able to see. And so we've just launched a PDF creator also, and that's something that's catching a lot of eyeballs on that. So, but yes, sorry, continue. I think I just wanted to speak about a few additional features over there. Sorry
so they're coming up. I mean, even the product announcement of late has been really fast. There've been so many of them. I'm yet to catch up with all of them. But I mean, if you talk about Studio in general, I believe the workflow management, and the capabilities it presents in terms of third-party integration, in terms of the code, your own custom code. So that's also really interesting. For one of the clients, we had to present data in terms of a 2D matrix, and I mean, we could write our custom code and just present the data the way we wanted. So it really opens up the flexibility to do whatever you want. As I said, workflow management is killer. I mean, with that you can really solve complicated issues, operational issues. So yeah, that's great. And I've already spoken about the pre-existing task approval and task assignment. I really find it that is a ubiquitous thing. It is something that is required in every organization, in every business process. You want task approval, and yes, so I mean the kind of detail you get, who the task is assigned to, if it gets reassigned, what all information is passed in between tasks if you want to gather information. So it's really wonderfully developed.
Thank you so much. I'll make sure to pass on your feedback to the team on that. And I'm conscious that we have last few minutes left, and I'm coming to my last question, which is any words of wisdom that you have for someone who's keen on exploring low code, and also, you know, throw in something about your experience working, being a partner with DronaHQ. So maybe combine these two questions and tell us a little about it.
Well, first of all, the no-code, low-code journey is very exciting. I think it's the right time to dive into it. I've seen the platform also evolve. I remember the time where the pricing was not updated. It was all on trial basis. Since that time, I'm trying to explore the platform. And so what really intrigued me into starting to work with DronaHQ was how involved, like when I spoke to the founders, both Divesh and Janine, how involved they were, how helpful and forthcoming they were in like helping not as just a partner, but as somebody who's interested in the platform, in developing a solution. And like slowly, I've seen that effect trickle down in the whole. I mean, everybody else who I've interacted with from DronaHQ, everyone like ensures that if you are stuck on a problem, that it is resolved. And so I really appreciate that about the DronaHQ platform. And as I said, the no code, low code ecosystem is evolving. It's evolving fast. I mean, gone are the times, or I mean, where it was thought of to be a very restricted, maybe just internal apps or business apps. It's not just that. You can, I mean, the possibilities are growing every day. I mean, yeah, like just I remember losing one customer because it didn't have we wanted public access. We didn't want a login interface, and the person had a lot of users. They just wanted to look at the data. That wasn't possible. But slowly and steadily with time, it is evolving. The DronaHQ right now has public interface. It has a consumption-based model, so you don't have to go for user licensing. So, as I said, the whole ecosystem is evolving. More than that, there are so many other third-party applications that are developing, and everybody's on the same lines. And with API integrations and webhooks, I mean, it just opens up the landscape to your imagination. So I think for anybody who's keen on exploring low code, no code, right now is the perfect time. Should just dive in and explore, build more and more stuff, and that's how you get to learn and I mean, know the whole ecosystem much better.
No, you know, you've put it in a perfect way. Being the right time, it's growing right now, and you know, I know that you are also an active. You are active on Twitter, and the kind of conversations that happen on a daily basis in terms of no code environment. We both know how you know, interested and invested people are in that. From one of the points that you mentioned about, you know, how the team rallies around the partners to help resolve their issues, and that is something that the organization is looking at, that we want to make our partners successful because we know that our success will be through them. So that's the entire that's how we have ensured that we keep growing from a cultural standpoint, that partners are kept right on a pedestal, so that all their queries, etc. Because they give us the best feedback. They are front ending the client. They're using the platform. They know what works, what doesn't work. So completely with you on that. And it seems like so much information that you've shared in the last 30 minutes. It's just been amazing to hear about you, about your journey, your vision for Algoware, and some interesting anecdotes and nuances about the whole low code, no code space. Can't thank you enough. I think so. This was a very interesting conversation. But before we go, any parting comments that you have, which you would want to share with the viewers?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me over, and taking time out to hear my comments and hear my thoughts. I finally, I would just like to say that it's a wonderful journey to start, and I believe DronaHQ as a team is a wonderful association. So, I would want more and more people to join in, and if I could help anybody make a decision or clear some thoughts, I'm just grateful that I had the opportunity to do that. That's about it.
Great. Thank you so much, Yash. It was a pleasure interacting with you, and we'll stay connected. Thanks once again. And with that, we come to the end of episode 2 of PartnerCast. Thank you all for listening in, and we will be back with another session the last week of September. So cheers, and everyone have a great weekend ahead. Bye-bye. Thanks, Yash. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.